All right, so today I'm gonna be making a spec commercial for this gin company called Aviation. Some of you may have heard of it. Ryan Reynolds, if you know him. I think he owns the company or something like that. But anyways, I was feeling inspired by planes lately, so I just wanted to make something with a plane. Aviation gin just seemed like the perfect fit. So before we start filming, I'm actually gonna bring you guys outside and we'll just look at some of the ideas that I came up with. All right, so here's my idea for the commercial. We're gonna start with a shot of a plane coming out of a hangar. The plane is gonna take off and then we're gonna have a top-down view of the plane. We're gonna transition into an ice cube falling into a glass of gin to make it kind of look like the plane like dropped a bomb and the bomb is the ice. So you may be wondering how I'm gonna get the shot of a plane. What I'm planning on doing is actually going into the computer, going into Cinema 4D Octane Render, and rendering out a plane taking off. We gotta stay within budget. So anyways, let's get started on this project. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of give you the rundown of my lighting setup and kind of explain kind of what's going on here in the background, as you can see, and just some of the choices I made. So as you can see, the light right here, I don't really like how it's just kind of giving one highlight on that top of the neck there. I kind of would like something a little bit more symmetrical. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take this light, I'm gonna move it around to kind of be in the center of our composition here to kind of give a highlight maybe on both sides as opposed to just one. This kind of stuff is just a bit of like personal preference. You can light it however you want. This is just how I'm gonna do it. The wall over here is completely white, so I didn't want that to kind of create a reflection against the side of the bottle. This black sheet I put up to kind of just kill the highlights on the left side and kind of make it a little bit more even and controlled. And I'm actually going to kind of block out the reflections from this white area using just a simple piece of Bristol board. We're gonna prop it up like this, and that's gonna kind of control the reflections a bit better. When you use something to block light, that's called a flag. The left side, we're gonna just flag it off. The rotator I just got for product shoots, it can kind of add a bit more interest to your shots. You just click a button and then it spins, you can kind of control the speed. This Bristol board is actually propped up against a guitar amp. The reason being is I probably could have used something else to prop it up, but I just figured this was nice and sturdy, it's solid, it's not going anywhere. So that kind of works. And then I have this light on a light stand that's actually resting on a table. And there actually should be a sandbag here, but so the most challenging part about this shoot is actually gonna be pulling it off while controlling the light and the reflections, especially since I'm gonna be coming at it from the front and I really don't wanna see my reflections. So I'm gonna be wearing all black to kind of control those reflections and kind of kill the light a bit. So let's jump over to the camera. I'm gonna do some shots in 4K 30 and I'm also gonna do some shots in 1080 60, A7S2, and we are shooting in a log profile. So we will be in S-Log2. Also, one thing I want to mention, I got the camera on the slider with a video head, so I'm actually going to be dollying in towards the product as it spins and just kind of time it nicely so that the whole thing comes together. But we will be referencing the storyboard at all times and kind of going based on this. What's really going to drive this spec commercial is the airplane dropping the ice into the glass. So that's gonna really tie it all together and kind of tie in the 3D portion with the live action footage. So now we're pretty much all set up. Let's get some shots. Okay, so what we kind of need to do before we get started, we're actually gonna have to clean the bottle because it's all nasty with like fingerprints and all that stuff. We don't want that showing up. And I got some glass cleaner, so we're actually gonna use this to kind of clean this. And then also got the rocket blower to blow off any dust on the bottle or on the camera lens, of course. We will also be using these latex gloves to prevent any extra fingerprints from getting on the product. What I actually like about this bottle is that it has some of the texture, this like jaggedy kind of texture at the back. So I think I kind of want to show that off in the video a little bit. So I'm actually going to do another slider move, which is kind of like a sweep. We're gonna be making a classic gin and tonic. So I'm gonna be using a glass just like this. It has these little 4 indents. It gives it a little bit of character, so that's why I kind of like it. So yeah, let's get into it. So So I actually got these fake acrylic ice cubes, if you can see that, for obvious reasons that the ice would melt. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna start with a couple ice cubes in the glass, and then we'll have the one drop, and that's like kind of the final ice cube. So I actually am happy with the shot, checked it out. It's looking super clean. We're making a gin and tonic, so we're gonna need some limes. I also wanna get some other angles of the ice cube actually going in. So if we take a look at the storyboard, we just did this one. We need this one now, and then I can sleep at night. And so because of that, we're actually gonna have to completely change this setup, so at least we got the top-down view out of the way, and that's kind of it for the top-down stuff, so we're ready to move on. Okay, so with the glass right now, there's a lot of condensation on the edges, and I kind of like that. Also, I do want to get a shot without the condensation so that you can actually kind of see the ice cube fall through, but we're gonna do both shots and see kind of how it turns out. All right guys, if you've been watching this far, don't forget to leave a like and comment what you would do differently if you were shooting this product commercial. As always, don't forget to subscribe to support the channel and to see more cool videos like this. So after I got all the shots I needed for the video, it was time to switch over to the 3D world. So honestly guys, I could really make a whole video talking about just the 3D portion of this project, but I'm just gonna give you the short version. So what I ended up doing was modeling the landscape and purchasing the hanger for about $30 on TurboSquid. And the airplane model itself, I actually found for free on TurboSquid as well. So after modeling the landscape, what I had to do was actually animate the camera and figure out kind of my composition and what the framing is gonna look like. Most of the work that I did for the 3D scene actually went into texturing the plane. Since I got the model for free, the textures weren't made for Octane Render, so I had to create the textures from scratch. On top of that, the bulk of the work was really dialing in the texture and the lighting for the scene. You can kind of see me building out the textures here in these node trees. After I was done texturing and lighting the scene, I had to animate the plane taking off, which wasn't too bad. It was only a couple keyframes, and then I adjusted the speed curves to make it look a bit more natural. So after I built out the first shot, it was really easy to do the other two because all I had to really do was copy and paste assets over from one scene to another. After I was done rendering out the 3D scene, I had to spend some time animating the Aviation Gin logo. I thought I would just include it at the end of the video just to bring a little bit more life and fun to the commercial. After spending about 20 hours rendering the plane scene, the video was ready to get put together. All I had to do from there was choose the clips that I actually wanted to use to kind of tell this story. My goal was to really keep it short, sweet, and to the point. After everything was put together and all was said and done, it was time to do the sound design. The sound design really helps tie everything together and bring this commercial to life. And I could really make a whole video talking about sound design as well, but again, we're keeping it short here. So that being said, guys, I'll let you take a look at the final product, and don't forget to let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. All right, guys, enjoy.